In 2016, the Ministry of Finance and Public Service continued to set Jamaica's economy on a path to prosperity. After receiving the 2015 Latin American Bond Deal of the Year award from the International Financing Review in February 2016, Dr. Peter Phillips seamlessly passed the baton to the new government's Finance Minister Audley Shaw in March. Two new state ministers, Favour Williams and Rudyard Spencer, were also assigned to the ministry. Record-breaking news topped the agenda for the rest of the year.
Between July and September, the economy grew by 2.3%. The last time that this economy grew in one single quarter by above 2.3% was in 2002.
And the good news continued. The net international reserves at the end of November stood at over $2.5 billion. Inflation also remained in single digits, recorded at 1.9% as at September. To top it all off, the country passed all IMF tests in 2016. It's no wonder the multilateral agency approved a new agreement with Jamaica in November.
I'm very pleased to announce that we have reached a staff-level agreement on a new economic program with the IMF that would be supported by a 3-year IMF standby agreement with potential support equivalent to US $1.7 billion.
Government announced that the new IMF agreement would be monitored by the Economic Program Oversight Committee, EPOC, co-chaired by Bank of Jamaica Governor Brian Winter. JMMB's Keith Duncan, who was selected as the second co-chair in November, promised to continue the good work of his predecessor, Sagicor's Richard Biles. In addition to EPOC, the Economic Growth Council and the Public Sector Transformation Committee, PSTOC, both established in 2016, would also monitor aspects of the IMF standby agreement. Setting Jamaica for prosperity not only involved growing the economy and cementing a new deal with the IMF, it also meant increasing the spending power of Jamaicans. Remember this?
We are raising the personal income tax threshold to $1.5 million across the board for everyone.
And so in July, under Phase 1 of the plan, the income tax threshold was almost doubled, moving to a little over $1 million. 5 revenue measures were announced to fund Phase 1 of the plan, beginning the shift from direct to indirect taxation, thereby including more persons in the tax net. And as part of the tax reform changes, Tax Administration Jamaica rolled out Phase 3 of its Revenue Administration Information System so more services could be done online. The prosperity agenda also included a plan to address matters relating to the sliding Jamaican dollar. A stakeholder group was set up in November to work with the Bank of Jamaica to examine the issue. Also on the matter of banks, regulations were approved in November to allow some banking business to be done through agents authorized by a supervisory authority.
We encourage the commercial banks to take every opportunity, Mr. Speaker, to proceed to scope out the whole island for their agent banking services so that we can provide more services and create greater financial inclusion to our citizens.
The Bank of Jamaica also approved licenses for 3 new commercial banks, including Jamaica National and Jamaica Money Market Brokers. Businesses were equally a part of government's prosperity agenda in 2016. So when a tax-free benefit expired in March, the finance minister intervened, allowing companies listed on the junior market of the Jamaica Stock Exchange to continue being exempt from corporate income tax. The implementation of a $1 billion Economic Partnership Agreement (EPA) project also positioned businesses to become more compliant in agriculture and agribusiness exports. It was funded by the European Union and implemented by the Planning Institute of Jamaica (PIOJ). Dr. Wayne Henry took over the leadership of the PIOJ in July from Dr. Colin Bullock. Also in July, firms and individuals had greater access to financing through a $100 million loan from the Inter-American Development Bank, the IDB.
Representing a policy-based loan approved by the IDB board on the basis of Jamaica having successfully completed a number of actions geared towards effecting reform of the country's financial sector.
The IDB also partnered with the Development Bank of Jamaica in February to fund a $420 million technical cooperation agreement to further develop Jamaica's venture capital industry. The prosperity agenda also included the public sector. Plans were announced for a $130 million pre-investment evaluation fund to improve the effectiveness and efficiency of the public sector investment program.
To support key pre-investment actions such as feasibility assessments, process reviews, cost-benefit analysis, socio-economic and environmental assessment, and other technical studies.
On the issue of divestment, Caymanas Track Limited was turned over to Supreme Ventures and the Kingston Container Terminal to Kingston Freeport Limited. In terms of mergers, legislation was tabled in Parliament for 3 gaming entities to form the Jamaica Gaming Commission.
This body will be the main advisory body to the government on gaming and will be given the resources and powers to regulate the industry.
Jamaica Customs also announced in April that it was working to get new scanning equipment called a fixed portal to facilitate a more hands-off approach to the inspection of cargo. 2 small boats to increase surveillance at the ports were also commissioned into service in August. Government also wrapped up wage discussions with outstanding public sector groups in 2016. Pharmacists, nurse practitioners, and medical consultants formally accepted the 7% wage offer for the 2015-2017 contract period.
Indeed, sometimes we would love to give more. But now more than ever, when you're under the dictates of the IMF, you really can't give more.
A fringe benefits agreement was also signed with the Jamaica Civil Service Association. The government of Jamaica, through the Ministry of Finance and Public Service, completing tangible projects in 2016, setting the Jamaican economy for prosperity in 2017 and beyond.